See, one object of employee class stores details of only single employee. But what if your organization has multiple employees? You will have group of employee objects, right? So the group of employee objects is called as collection of objects. So what is collection of objects? Collection of objects is a collection object. That means it is an object of either list class or stack class or queue class, where each element of the collection stores reference of another object. For example, we have an object of list class and assume the class name is employee. Here assume employee as a custom class. You are adding an object of employee class. So the first element of the collection stores reference to the first object of employee class. Second element stores reference to the second object, and so on. So each element of the collection stores a reference to the respective object of a specific type. So first of all, we have 5 objects of employee class. Each object reference was stored as an element in the collection of objects. So in this way, collection of objects itself is an object where each element stores a reference of another object. So we can apply this as a list collection or dictionary collection or sorted list or hash table or stack or queue even. In our real application, whenever you have multiple objects of a particular type, for example, group of employee objects, group of student class objects, group of product class objects. So whenever you have multiple objects of a particular type, then you will use the collection of objects. So exactly in the real applications, you will have multiple objects of a particular type. That data may be read from the data store, such as a database, or the data may be entered by the user. So either of the way, you will have multiple objects of a specific type. So in this way, collection of objects is frequently used in the real-world applications. For example, you take an e-commerce application. See, what is the formula of e-commerce? You will have multiple sellers, and each seller may provide multiple products, and you will have multiple buyers, and each buyer may buy multiple products. So everywhere we have collection of objects, right? First of all, multiple sellers is a sellers collection. Multiple products is products collection. Multiple buyers is buyers collection. And each buyer may make multiple orders, so orders collection, and so on. So initially we make an empty collection without any objects inside it. Whenever the data is entered by the user, for example, the user has created a product, so we will create an object of product class and add the reference of that product object into an element of collection. And next time if you repeat the same process, it contains second product, and so on. In this way, collection of products is formed up. This is how the real-world application works. Let me demonstrate collection of objects. I am making a console application and adding the class library and also adding the reference of the class library into the console application project, just like what we did in the previous lectures. Now in this class library, I would like to create a class called product. So rename the class1.cs as product.cs. So within the product.cs file, we have a namespace called eCommerce, and we have a class called product with various properties and methods. Each product must have unique product ID and also product name, price, and also date of manufacture. So we have created auto-implemented properties for simplicity. In the real-world applications, you can try to create the private fields and public properties and also perform validations in the set accessors, as I have demonstrated in the previous lectures. So this product class represents a product, and rather than writing the single line comment, it is better to mention the same in the XML comment. The benefit of XML comment is that wherever you place the mouse pointer on the product class, it shows the XML comment as a tooltip. You can easily generate the XML comment by writing triple slash. So slash, slash, and then slash without space. Automatically, it generates an XML tag called summary. So the summary begins here and summary ends here. You can write the same comment in between the summary opening and closing tag. So the benefit is that if you place the mouse pointer on the product class, it automatically shows the same comment, but not only in the same place, but also in some other files. So wherever you are accessing the product class, the same summary comment will be displayed as a tooltip. So that the other developers, that means the co-developers who are all working in the same application, can easily understand the purpose of this class. So it's always recommended to write the XML comments for each class. Now come back to the console application, that is program.cs file. Import the namespace eCommerce. And also, as I want to create a list type of collection, import the namespace system.collections.generic. Now coming to the main method, I wish to create an empty collection. I want to create a list type of collection of which type? Product type. That means each element of this collection stores a reference to the object of product class. And name of the reference variable is products. Of course, it can be anything. As of now, the collection of objects is just empty. Now we can use add method in order to add elements to the collection. But rather than initializing static data, I wish to read the data from the keyboard from the user. So I am taking the support of do while loop, and also we have a choice variable indicating whether the user wants to continue or not. And I wish to continue with this do while loop as long as the choice is not equal to no. So do while choice is not equal to no, or lowercase no, or maybe n. Now I would like to accept the details from the user. I am accepting the product ID. And also product name. And then price. In case if the data type is integer, we need to perform parse in case of even double. But in case if the data type is a string, you need not parse it because readLine method by default returns the value in the form of string. So we have accepted all the values from the user, and in this case the user must enter the date in the form of year, month, date format. separated with hyphen or slash. Now, based on these details, I wish to create a new object for the product class. So I am creating a new object of product class, and then by using object initializer, I am initializing all these properties. So the first property, that is product ID, is equal to the value that is read from the keyboard, that is PID in this case. So we are reading that value from the keyboard into this PID and assigning the same into the product ID property of the new product object. Similarly, the product name assigns to the pname variable which is read from the keyboard. And the same process repeats for remaining properties. So successfully we have created a new object of product class and also initialized all those properties. In the next moment, we have to add this object into the existing products collection. So earlier we have already created an empty collection. Into the collection we are adding this object. So now an element in the collection stores reference to the particular object. Here the product object is stored outside the collection, but only its reference has been stored in the collection. So this element number 0 acts as a reference variable to access the particular object of product class. And if the same process is repeated through the do-while loop, obviously it will create a new object every time and add the same to the same collection. In this way, multiple objects gets added to the same collection. But how long this should be happen? We have to ask the user, do you want to continue or not? So the user may type either yes or no. We are accepting that value into the choice variable that is created already above. So this choice variable not only should be accessible within the do block, but also should be accessible outside the do block. That's why I have created the choice variable above the do-while loop, but not inside the do block. So user may either type yes or single character called y or n. So as per this condition already written, in case if the user types no or no in lowercase or even n or n in uppercase, in all these cases the loop will be terminated. But alternatively, if the user types yes or y, in that case the do-while loop will be continued as long as the user types yes or y, or maybe some other characters also. So this particular block will be executed once for each product. That means as long as the user types yes. But once the user types no and comes out of the loop, we have to read and print all the products that are added to the collection. Yes, initially it was an empty collection, but every time we are creating a new product object and adding the same to the products collection, right? For example, the do-while loop has been executed 3 times. So each time we are creating a new object and adding the same to the collection. So by that time, the collection contains 3 objects of product class, right? That means each element of collection stores reference to respective product object. So finally, we have to retrieve all the elements by using for each loop and print them all at once. In this case, each element is of product type and the name of the collection reference variable is products. For the first time, the first object reference will be stored into the item variable. See, we are making the first product object and its reference is stored in the first element, right? So the reference of the first object is available in the item variable first time. And next time it's second object, next time it's third object, and so on, as many as there. Each time we are displaying the product details, product ID, product name, and so on. And in case of date time data type, I am using two short date string in order to convert into month, date, year format. And also display in the heading called products. So overall, we have an empty collection and we are reading the details from the keyboard, creating a product object with those details, adding the newly created object into the existing empty collection. In that way, first object is added to the collection. And if the user types yes, we will repeat the same process next time and so on until the user enters no. Once the user choice is no, we are stopping the loop and going through all the product objects through the for each loop from the collection. So overall, each element of the collection stores a reference to the respective object. In this case, since it is a list class, all the elements must be of product object only. In case if you try to pass another type of object, for example, employee type of object, it is not allowed because as per the list class, all the elements must be of same type. Sorry, I need to keep AND operator instead of OR. So let's execute this application and test it. See, for the first time, it is asking the details about the first product. Overall, we can add unlimited number of products. So the ID of the first product is 1 and product name is, for example, laptop, and price, for example, 4,500. Date of manufacture is, for example, something. And this product object has been added to the collection. And it asks me, do you want to continue or not? For example, I am just entering yes. Since the condition is true, it continues with that same do while loop once again. So again, it executes all this code. This time I am entering second product details, for example, mobile. And the second object also has been added to the same collection. And again, it asks me, do you want to continue or not? This time I am entering yes again. So I can enter the third details. And don't think like product ID should be a sequential number. It can be any number. For example, I am entering 10. And third product is monitor. So like this, we can enter any number of details. So I am done with the products. I don't want to continue. So I am just writing no. Since the while condition is false, it terminates the loop and proceeds to the next statement, that is for each loop. So it reads and prints all the details that are entered above. In this case, the date is being printed in month, date, year format because of two short date string method. So two short date string is one of the methods of date time structure which returns the date in month, date, year format. So this is how you create an empty collection and add objects to the same collection and finally read all the objects. So this is how will you manage collection of objects in the real world applications. You can take any real world application. It's all about collection of objects. For another example, suppose there is an insurance application So there are multiple insurance policies and multiple buyers, and one buyer may take one or more policies. So here list of available policies is one collection, and list of available buyers is another collection, and the list of policies that are taken by the particular buyer is another collection. Like this, if you understand the collection of objects, you can easily manage the data in the real-world applications easily. So if you can try to create this application, for example, insurance application, then you can really apply what you have learned from this lecture.